Well, the key is we've got to do the hard things hard. Whether it's transition, we can't take shortcuts for the next 25 games or plus, including the playoffs. All those things we got to make sure we're doing all the fundamentals. And it starts with transition defense, one-on-one defense, shot challenges, all the stuff that you normally you could take shortcuts with. We got to do all those things, and it's simplistic. It's something you can control. A lot of times you can't control whether you make shots or not, but you can control some of those hard things. And those are the things we got to do and take personal going into these last 25 games.
And is that important to emphasize that message, given you are in a pretty comfortable space in the standings?
Nobody's comfortable. There should be nobody in this building comfortable. Again, it's fleeting. Success in the NBA is very fleeting, and if anybody thinks any other way, they're in the wrong business. Just you can look around the league. Teams that you thought that were king of the world, hit a hard time, boom, and you're not comfortable. So my job with our guys is, make the comfortable uncomfortable and uncomfortable comfortable, and that you gotta do that. But again, that's the tone we gotta set. There's nobody who should be satisfied or feel like, oh, we got a cushion. No way, no how.
Knowing this group the way you do you think that's going to be a tough message for you to get across?
No, I don't think so. Just the message that it starts with Kyle and DeMar, and they've seen success and they've seen failure, and that should be a great reminder for everybody, fans, media, whoever's going to listen included. And that's our job to make them to get them to understand that that's the way this world works. And we can all feel good and happy and all that, but sooner or later somebody's trying to come and take your position, take your spot and the top if you let them. And the only way you can do that is get comfortable. And that's the challenge for young players as much as the older players. The older players understand, they've seen it, and should know that there's no place in the NBA for being comfortable.
Do you like the tough test right out of the gate?
For Milwaukee, yes. Yeah, we might you're going to have to play them. So it doesn't, it's about us, our approach, us not thinking we're comfortable, having that chip on our shoulder, because that's the way you're successful in this league, is playing with the chip on your shoulder, unless you're Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, or Kareem.
How do you balance emphasizing those process things like transition defense, one-on-one defense, with like giving them big picture goals like finishing first in the conference, like in terms of what you're telling them and giving them something to focus on?
You do those things and do them great. You're great at those things. All that winning takes care of itself. I've said that. You can't sit around and look at numbers and get fixated on numbers without going out on the floor and doing your job. You do the fundamentals, all those things that we're talking about, execute them, do them with passion, do them with a sense of urgency. The winning stuff will take care of itself, and where you finish and all that will take care of itself. Yeah, you know where you want to finish and where you should be and want to be, but if you don't do those other things, you're going to be here next week talking about what happened. So that's simple.
Does it feel like you guys are on a 7-game winning streak?
No, not really, because like you said, somebody said we got Milwaukee coming here, Detroit coming here, going to try to take our head off. And so if you go in thinking about any streak at all other than doing the fundamentals that we talked about and executing offensively, down the stretch like we talked about, it's for naught.
CJ was talking about how certain, especially veterans in the league, you don't really see their real selves until this time of year. Like, they're sort of built for the long haul, and they're built to peak now and in the playoffs. What's the difference at the level that in the opposition that you see, in January versus, March and April?
Again, I'm looking at our team. I'm looking where we need to go, Eric, and how we need to improve, and I can't worry about what other people are doing and how they're playing. It's about us. It's about us getting better, continue to we got a lot of areas, if you are watching Understanding Basketball, where we can get better in and take the last 5 minutes of the game. We're go from one of the top offensive teams to one of the worst in the league. So those things are areas where we got to continue to harp on, to preach on, to think about as we go in these last 25 games.
Have you liked the extended break that the NBA put in a few years ago, or as a coach do you look at it and say maybe it's a little bit too much time away?
No, guys need it, bodies need it. You know, they're not machines, they're people. They have feelings, they have X amount of energy, X amount of you know, focus level that you just sometimes need to turn it off to get away from it, to, you know, to recharge. So from that standpoint, it's great. And I like the way the NBA's changed the schedule. You know, there's a huge emphasis on rest, so the rest factor or all that stuff shouldn't be an issue, you know, for anyone.